Hi, welcome to Subramani. So this is a very odd video where I'm going to talk to you about what really scares a person while planning for retirement. So when I talk to younger people, let's say in their 30s, and when I drop the word retirement, they're pretty hazy about it because their parents are not even struggling with retirement. They're about to retire or they've just retired, and these younger people do not see the problems of 60-year-olds at retirement. Now I talk to a 30-year-old about retirement, I talk to a 60-year-old about retirement, I talk to 85-year-olds about retirement, and I can tell you one thing: the fears of retirement keep changing, and some of the mistakes and some of the fears is what I'm going to talk about. So I find older people, say 80 plus, living so frugally and absolutely unnecessarily. I mean, if I know a lady who died recently, and she was living very frugally. She would just not spend money on herself. She was about 85 plus for sure, and she's left behind a portfolio of about 3-4 crores for her children and grandchildren, whatever. It wouldn't have really mattered if she had left 50 lakhs less or something like that, but she would have saved all that very frugally. So that's of course a different problem. So what is the problem which 30-year-olds say? First is they are in denial, saying, why would I need 20 crores for retirement, or why would I need 30 crores for retirement? You have no clue how much you will require, and I don't get into too much of an argument with a 30-year-old as to how much they will require for retirement. I just tell them it's a big black number out there. Don't worry about how much the number is. It's a big number. Start investing towards it. That's the only advice for a 30-year-old to take home. The problem for the 45-year-old about retirement is to prioritize children's needs, children's education, children's marriage and all that versus own retirement. From 45 to 55, 60, you end up spending a lot of time choosing or prioritizing. And then at 85 you actually don't have much to do. But the most important thing is your body now does not have the strength to do many of the things that you wanted to do, right? So that is a problem, because money has an expiry date, right? For all of us, money does technically speaking, money may not have an expiry date, but you have an expiry date for various activities, what you can do. Some things which you can do at 55 you can't do at 60, something which you can do at 60 you can't do at 65. Take a simple case. If you want to go to Kailash Mansarovar, 60 is the cutoff for doing parikrama. Beyond that, you need to take government permission. I don't know how easy it is to get it or how easy it is not to get it, which means if you want to go to Kailash Mansarovar at all, your mental cutoff should be 57 or 58, by which you want to finish that trip, right? So similarly, for everything there is some age gap at which you have to finish. So what are the fears which people have? One is loneliness. A lot of people are known by the companies in which they are working sorry, because they may have worked there for 10-15 years. So suddenly they are worried that they will have no social contacts, because most of their social contacts are because of the company, because they are colleagues. Now they have to realize that once you are no longer colleagues and you have nothing much in common, you have WhatsApp groups and once in a while talking to each other, but that affinity and fondness is not there. Your own siblings may be in different cities, so you have to make an attempt to be sure that you are near each other, or with your cousins or somebody like that, because one huge fear which most of us have is being lonely. Right? So let's say you're 73 years of age, your wife is about say 66, 67. Suddenly you lose your wife. Now you're worried about solitude for the next say 20 years. That's not easy to handle, right? So solitude is a big worry. Before people retire, their big worry is, will they have enough money? And after they retire, it may not be money which was bothering them, but they're worried that in case it goes on a huge spiral and they have to spend a lot of money on nurses and home care, etc., etc., will they have enough resources to last them through? So resources are not so much of a worry about for their day-to-day spending, but they're worried that if there is a medical spiral, their money may not be sufficient. Loneliness among friends, cousins, etc. You need to build up your own social network and be with them and talk to them, go out with them. You have to solve it yourself. The other thing that worries them is who will take, this is a fear which many of the people have asked me, especially those who are childless, and now because of COVID, if you say if my son or daughter can't come, then what happens to me? Death is not something as worrisome as saying you're say 92 years of age, your wife is 86 years of age and your wife is bedridden, she can't move, and something happens to you, you fall down and there's a crack in your head or something like that, a small thing, you're bleeding, your spouse can't do anything because she is bedridden, she can't move, she's waiting for the servants to come and she has no clue where you are because she can't move to find out about you. So these are the things which worry people, of being completely helpless situation where they may have perhaps have money but no physical strength to achieve what they want to achieve, right? This is not a fear for people in their 30s, they can't even imagine these things, but this is a genuine fear for people in their 70s. It does not hit even in their 50s and 60s, but it hits in the 70s and 80s. What if I'm alone and something happens to me, and people will know about it after a very long time? This is not so much of a bother for a person who is single, but it is a problem for a person who is bedridden and who is unable to run any errands. They're worried what happens to what if something were to happen to their partner. They're not so much worried about themselves, right? Then taking these decisions, physically being able to book tickets or going out and all that, you start losing confidence somewhere even in your 60s if you are shifted to a new location, right? So all these things do happen. These are some of the fears that people have. These are some of the money fears and some of the physical fears, social fears which people have in their retirement. So if you are young, do talk to your parents about their retirement, and if you are 45, 50 plus, do talk to your spouse and your cousins and your siblings about retirement. Try to see whether you can live together in a place which all of you like. Right? So look at all those things and see how these fears don't creep into your head. Thank you.